Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, there's not much to do outdoors as it is winter. It's very cold when we have temperatures coming into the teens within the next 2 days. That being said, I would like to get some seeds started. So stepping indoors, as you can see, I have some seed trays set up. We even have our soil mixture here in this bowl. It's already been pre-moistened, if you can see it. It's not dry, and I think if we squeeze it, there's not much of any water that will actually drip out. All right, forgive me because I kind of have the puppy in my hands. She is going a little bit wild, but some of you guys might be thinking, why in the world would I start seeds this early in the year? It's only January. So some seeds would prefer to be started 8 to 10 weeks early or previous to your last frost. Now, in this case, we have the Dalmatian Peach Foxgloves, and I believe Pam's Choice Foxgloves, and then the Victoriana Primroses. Although, instead of starting the Victoriana Primroses, we're gonna wait till tomorrow to get those started and just start the Foxgloves using both these 24 cell trays. As you can see off to the side here, we have our seed sowing trays. These are 24 cell, and they do use the capillary wicking mats to wick up the moisture into the soil to keep my seeds from drying out. So what I'm doing now is filling the trays with soil. I'm going to make sure to pack down the soil as well to prevent a lot of air pockets within these cells. And this should help the seed starts grow really well. Now that we completed filling the trays with soil, let's take a look at our Foxgloves. One being the Dalmatian Peach. Let's open it up. It comes in a kind of this, it's hard to explain, but it's a vial, I guess you could call it. Now the seeds are very, very small. You can't even see that there's anything in there really. They're like tiny little dots. And as for the Pam's Choice, they're kept inside this little baggie. I don't know if you could see the tiny little dots in there, but they're in there. So previous to loading the seeds in, we're going to make sure that we add tags so we don't mix things up. So I'm going to go ahead and write with the marker, a permanent marker on these tags, both the names of the varieties, sticking them into the soil once I'm done so things don't get mixed up. These seed trays also come with a dome, which if the tags are a bit too tall, the dome will be left open, allowing moisture to escape. So when I get tags like these, I make sure to cut them in half. It also makes your tags go a long way. Now that that's said and done, let's go ahead and get these seeds onto the tray. Oop, I already dropped some on top. I'm gonna try and get one in each cell, hopefully, if possible. Yep. So this one right here doesn't come with a white coating, which makes it a tad bit more difficult to get the seeds down onto there without putting too many in each cell. So I'm gonna have to like gently rake them off my palm and hopefully get about 2 to 3 in each cell. Directly behind me is a bag of vermiculite, which I don't think we're gonna get to. I was just using it as a cushion. Then we have a smaller bag right in front of me, which we're gonna pull from. And as you can see, this is very light and fluffy. I'm not gonna go too heavy on it. We're just barely covering the surface. Enough to know that my seeds are well covered and they should receive light. As you can see, here's what the vermiculite looks like once it's fully covered. And the plan is I'm gonna have to raise my lights just slightly so I can put the dome over the top. We're gonna add some water into the actual under tray so that we can start wicking And on top of all that, we will give it a light spritz over the top of the soil to make sure that we do have adequate moisture up top. So I added a tad bit of water in here, and I want to show you guys how this works. So the capillary mat pretty much touches the water and it wicks up to the top. And then at the base of the trays, there are holes that allow for the water to make contact with the soil, which in turns makes it moist. So now that the trays are filled with water, it's best to mention that these seeds would actually prefer to have temperatures of 65 and 75 degrees in order to germinate. So it's not going to actually be 65 or 75 degrees down here. So a way to get these guys to germinate is by using this heat mat, which I already have set up, and the heat mat's on, providing heat. Along with the heat mat, there should be some heat coming from the lights, which should help with that germination as well. So we're gonna check back in on these guys after some days, but let's get the domes on top first. One dome here, and our second dome. This should help keep it very humid, and that should aid along with germination as well. So we'll revisit in the next 10 days, see just how far along these guys get or go. By the way, the lights are on a timer, so they're only on for about 16 hours during the day. Then they should shut off and give them a nighttime type of feel. And here's a look at our thermometer, which shows that it's about under 60 degrees. So that's not where we want it, but it's okay. So I'm gonna head back indoors, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.